us.
Talkline Network Radio, America's longest-running Jewish broadcast network, the voice of the Jewish community.
Welcome to the podcast.
You are now tuned in to this episode of our podcast. Today we are going to interview some of the greatest and most influential minds in our field. And now, please welcome your host.
You're listening to Talkline with Zev Brenner, America's premier Jewish broadcast on the air since 1981.
And we're back. It's always great to have Shmuel Sackett. I like to call him a Am Yisrael kind of Jew because he loves all Jews, no matter who they are. And he's head of the Am Yisrael Chai Foundation, but he's just started a new campaign called Uniting Torah campaign. He wants to unite all segments of the Orthodox world, whether you're Hasidish, religious Zionist, Yeshiva, Sephardi, and while everybody does their own, makes their own Shabbos, so to speak, he wants to unite them, and he's actually raising money for all of them. So, Shmuel, welcome back to the program. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, Zev, it's always a pleasure to be here. You know, you and I know each other for a long time. And it's always such an honor for me to see your smiling face.
Likewise, because I love the project, you know, to get everybody together. And you love all Jews, whether they're right, left, religious, non-religious, you know, and we need more of that unity. And we don't really have it. And one of the things during the time of year, you know, the 3-week period where we mourn the destruction of the first and second temple. And one of the reasons the rabbi tells us the second temple was destroyed is we hated each other. We had sinas chinam. So it's nice during this period of year when we commemorate the destruction of the temple because of this reason is to try to get everybody together. So tell us about your unifying idea.
So it's exactly what you said, Zev. You know, everyone has their ideology and everybody has their vision, and we're not asking you to change that. We're just asking you to do something which is very difficult, and that is step outside your comfort zone and put your arm around a fellow Jew, even if you don't totally agree with him. And what I mean by that is as follows, that exactly what you said, this is the time where because of baseless hatred, sinat chinam, the second temple fell and it wasn't rebuilt, which means we're still making the same mistake. And you see it in the news, you see everyone attacking. It's okay to have differences of opinion. It's actually healthy to have differences of opinion, but we need to have respect. And the best way to show respect is when we really help each other's causes that we don't necessarily identify with. So I looked at the Torah world and identified 4 segments. There's the Hasidic group, there's the Sephardim, there's the Litvish, you know, the Haredi, and there's the religious Zionists. And these 4 units, they're all studying Torah. Beautiful, that nobody is arguing. This one has a knitted kippah, this one is wearing a strimal, this one. What does it matter at the end of the day? We're studying Torah. So if somebody likes to contribute to the Mir Yeshiva, he should continue doing so. If someone's contributing to the Ovadia Yosef Sephardic Yeshiva, he should continue doing so. But in addition, from now until Tisha B'Av, let's show Hashem, our Father in heaven, that we're prepared to help those outside of our comfort zone. So I set up this group called unitingtorah.com. Very simple, unitingtorah.com, where every dollar that comes in is divided equally among all 4 worlds of Torah. Whether you send $1 or $1,000, it's divided 25% to the Hasidic yeshivas, the Litvish yeshivas, the Sephardi yeshivas, and religious Zionists. Okay, all 4 equally get the same amount. So when you sit on the floor in Tisha B'Av, you could say, Hashem, I helped to do my best, to do what I can to unite all 4 Torah worlds together. And that's something that it's an honor for me to spearhead this campaign. I'm telling you, it's going slower than I would have liked because it's difficult for people to step outside their comfort zone. I understand that. But I'm pushing as hard as I can, and I'm not raising the white flag until we get off the floor on Tisha B'Av And
Well, Shmuel, you never give up. So
no, you
I'm worried
can't.
about. But let me bring home the problem even more. It's been exasperated. There used to be a much better relationship between the religious Zionists and the Haredi Jewish world. The war has exasperated that. I have videos and spoken to people who feel that that they've lost sons in the war, and a lot of Hesed Yeshiva, but a lot of National Zionist boys, unfortunately, were killed, and they feel that the Haredim are not in the army. That creates extra tension. So there's more of that tension going on between the Haredi sector and the national religious sector than ever before.
Well, let me tell you something that's literally fresh news, and it's not such good news. Our religious Zionist yeshiva is the Yeshiva Gavoa in Herzliya. If you go into the website, unitingtorah.com, you'll see Rabbi Moshe Levi. He's the guy in the white shirt with the kippah sruga, the knitted kippah. He has a son who was severely wounded in the war, was in the hospital for close to a year. He was in a coma for half of that time. They didn't give him any chance of survival, but he walked out of the hospital. It was a great simcha. We even have it on our site. The nurses were ringing bells. Although his face is distorted, he has physical disabilities for the rest of his life. Then their second son was wounded, and he is now going through complications. But what is fresh? Literally, I got word 10 minutes ago. I'm not exaggerating. 10 minutes ago, I just found out that his third son was wounded. Seriously, he's literally, as and I are speaking right now, his son is on the operating table right now. Why am I telling you this? Because if he with 3 wounded sons, fighting for their lives, if he could step out outside of his comfort zone and put arms around the rabbis who don't serve in the army, then you and I certainly can.
Oh, that's a wonderful unifying factor. But unfortunately, there is tension, and that makes it more difficult. And I agree with you. Listen, we have to unite, and everybody has to be together. It's an important thing, especially during the time of year when we mourn the destruction of the temple for these reasons. We should be unified all year long. The truth is, when we Jews are unified, listen, when Hamas hit on October 7th, there was beautiful unity in Israel. I don't think it's still the same as it was post-October 7th.
That is correct. And we need to get back to that. And I'm not fooling myself into believing that, we'll just run some kind of a campaign and all will be healed. There are reasons for the distrust and the lack of cooperation, and I understand the bad taste that people have in their mouths. We understand all that, but the whole point of unity is to embrace those who we do not agree with. There's no such thing as unity when everybody's on the same team. So we all talk about unity. I'll tell you a crazy story. I spoke to a guy in New York who learns in a kollel, very sweet guy. And he was, I was asking, what do you think about this project? He said to me, listen to how he talked out of 2 sides of his mouth within a span of 20 seconds. He said, Shmuel, this is exactly what Am Yisrael needs. We need to be together. We need to stand together. We need to work together. I just have one question. Why should I give money to Sephardim? He said that to me. I said, pal, did you hear what you just said? Maybe say these words in front of a mirror and look at yourself as you're talking. You're saying we should be together? Why should I give to Sephardim? Do you understand? This is exactly the point. We need to stand together with those who we don't know. What's Sephardim? Let me tell you something else that's even more powerful. Do you know who believes in the Jewish people as one? Our enemies. Hitler Yamach Shemo never asked if we put on tefillin, if we were Sephardic or Ashkenazic, or we ate rice on Pesach. He could care less. He didn't ask if you had payas or a black hat or no hat. And the same with Hamas. When they came in slaughtering men, women, and children on October 7th, they did not ask any questions whatsoever. They were killing religious people. They were killing people who were desecrating the Shabbos in the Nova Festival. Let's be honest. They didn't care. A Jew is a Jew. So if our enemies see us that way, why can't we see ourselves that way? At least till Tisha B'Av. UnitingTorah.com. That's what we're asking. Let's stand together and show Hashem we really are one nation, one people.
You remind me of a thought my father, blessed memory, said about the Pesach Seder. We say Shalom Echad B'Lvad, Omdim Leinu Chal Seder. Not one nation, they all stood up to destroy us. However, you can interpret it Shalom Echad. When we Jews are not one, then they can destroy us. Then Omdim Leinu. But if we're one, nothing can stop us. So I agree with you. We need to do that. You remind me of the holy, I think it was Rabbi Yisrael of Rishon said a wonderful thought. He was a Havas Yisrael. He loved Jews. And he used to find references to love Jews anywhere in the Torah to his Parshas Balak. And somebody said, Rebbe, show me v'ahavta l'reacha kamocha, love your fellow Jew like yourself. He goes, the word Balak stands for v'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. Because Rebbe, it sounds the same, but it doesn't look the same. The alphabet is different, and one's a vav, a beis. He goes, that's exactly the point. If they're exactly the same, it's easy to love another Jew. When they're not exactly the same, then it's more difficult to love them, which is what you're saying. That's your mantra over here. But let me ask you,
Zev, let me just say one thing. When you mentioned the Pesach Seder, at the Pesach Seder, we have 4 sons who are completely different from one another. The wise, the evil one. Excuse me. Yet, what's the greatest thing here? Everybody's at the same Seder, even though they're different. And that's the concept. UnitingTorah.com brings them all together in one place and receive support equally across the board.
Our guest is Shmuel Sackett. He's the founder of the Am Yisrael Chai Foundation, but his latest project is Uniting Torah. He wants to unite the Torah community, United Torah campaign. Let me ask you this question. I noticed that you're getting together the Sephardim, the Litvaks, the Hasidim, the religious Zionists, but you're raising money, and whatever money comes in, you're going to divide between these 4 institutions. But Correct. Is that real unity? Shouldn't you have them all together, maybe an event or a fundraising event where everybody's together? Because everybody's still distinct. They're in their own separate yeshivas, so to speak.
We're taking baby steps, Zev. You're 100% right. You're 100%. The real unity is not when the Hasidic guy wears the strimal and the religious Zionist wears the kippah sruga. It's when they switch. And God willing, we'll get to that. Again, we're a nation of 12 tribes. And I'm sure that the tribe of Reuven did not act exactly like the tribe of Naphtali, and the tribe of Dan had differences of opinion with the tribe of Zvulun. And so we know that there were people tribes that were more in commerce and more studying and more agriculture. And then there was the Levium. The beauty in the Jewish people is that we are different. I'm not looking to make robots where everything is the same, where we come off the assembly line all stamped, with the same thing looking like the same, dollar bill. We're different. That's beautiful. We should keep those differences, but we need to do it with respect and love. The 2 greatest rabbis, or 2 of the greatest rabbis we had, of course, were Shammai and Hillel. They argued over, I don't think they agreed on anything. Good night? What do you mean? It's morning. It's not night. Yet they loved each other. Their children married each other, and they had the greatest respect. When they got to the Beit Midrash, they took off the gloves and they went at it in the world of Torah. That's fine, and that's beautiful, and that's to be continued. But there was respect and there was love. That's what we need to get to.
Well, it's an ambitious project, and I think it's great that you want people to think beyond their comfort zone and support institutions that may not be in line with their ideology. So if you're a Hasidic guy, you may not be into Rav Kook. If you're a Kook guy, you may not be into the Satmar Rebbe. But the point is, you want everybody to support each other during these trying times. But I was just curious, one of the problems that Israeli society faces is not just religious interreligious conflict, but also secular Jews and religious Jews. I noticed this campaign is limited to Torah Jews. What about the rest of the Israeli secular society?
Definitely phase 2. There's no question about it. We need to really focus on unity across the board. Right now, we're starting in the Torah world. This is just the place to start. We're trying to unite the Torah world. Definitely, without question, we need to unite everybody together. And it is a beautiful thing. You see things in Israel. I always try to focus on the positive. There's a new trend that started after October 7th. And I don't know if you've noticed it, Zev. I know you travel to Israel a lot. There's a lot of young fellows who are wearing tzitzis and no kippah. I don't know if you've seen that.
I haven't seen
but
that, brother.
you see it growing each and every day. Now, when you think about it, tzitzis is one of the 613. Kippah is not. At most, it's rabbinic and whatever is a whole discussion. It's important, we do it, but it's nothing compared to tzitzis. And you see, it's the funny, and these guys have their tzitzis out. You'll see a guy walking past you, listening to whatever, holding a girl's hand, no kippah. He's got his tzitzis hanging out. I always walk over to him and I say to him, Kol hakavod. Wonderful. What a beautiful thing this fellow is doing. And that's what we need to focus on. We need to get tzitzis to guys like this, and we need to really embrace them. And we will. I will continue with this uniting campaign. We'll go from Uniting Torah to Uniting Jews to uniting, I don't know, recipes. Let's also eat each other's food. Remember, keep the difference, but respect each other. And this is what we need. UnitingTorah.com. We're asking everybody to really take part in it until Tisha B'Av. That's when the campaign ends. It
Wait,
ends
after
on
Tisha B'Av, they can go back to not liking each other.
You know what? It's like after Yom Kippur. You take a lot of promises upon yourself. Hopefully you keep it going. But that's between you and the man upstairs.
Well, you have to say, listen, it real officially ends Tisha B'Av, but you haven't told Tu B'Av, and if you really want to be, you can give till Rosh Hashanah, right? That's how we usually do things.
Do you want to know a funny thing? Years ago, when I was living in the States, so I went to Gold's Gym. I was a serious member of Gold's Gym, used to work out every day. And I walk in on January 2nd, and I couldn't believe what I saw. There must have been 200 new people in the gym. And there was no room for any of the machines. Everything was taken. A guy who was a regular puts his arm around me and says, don't worry. In 2 weeks, they're all gone. These are all the New Year's resolution people. They're going to join the gym. They're going to lose weight. They're going to get into shape. By January 15th, they're gone. And the gym is back to the regular guys who come there a year round. So I hope that won't happen in our case. I hope that people will give and also will stay connected, obviously. But we're taking the first step. This is the first step, unitingtorah.com.
Now, let me ask you this. Are you able to get, let's say, a statement or get all four Rosh Yeshivas of these different institutions together and to say, Shmuel, we're speaking out on behalf of this campaign? Is that possible?
Sure. Excuse me. I'm getting all choked up here. I'm all excited. So when you go to our website, you'll see a video with all four Rosh Yeshivas together. And they're reaching out to each other. And they're asking each other, we need you to get involved. We need you, Herzliya. We need you, Rav Tegdi in Netivot, the Sephardi. And we need you in Emmanuel. We need you, Rav Pinkus. We have one of the four is a kollel named after Rav Shimshon David Pinkus. Of course, very, very famous and kadosh Yin Zichrono Livracha. So yes, we have that. We're all four are standing together, supporting and endorsing each of the others.
Now in Israel, by the way, there's I call it Sephardification of Israel, because Sephardic music, food. You got in America, kitnios, not eating certain beans and legumes is something standard. But you got to Israel, it's very hard to find non-kitnios because of the Sephardification of the country. So in a sense, we are seeing, at least on some level, a greater unity where we're incorporating the other in our life.
You know something? This past Shabbos, I did a rare thing. I went with my wife. We went on a little vacation to Yam HaMelech, the Dead Sea. And we went to this hotel, the Vert Hotel, very nice hotel. And if you know, we've ever been there. And it was, I think my wife and I were the only Ashkenazim in the whole place. The place was full and very, very beautiful people. And Friday night, I said to my wife, take a look at this. All the food is out. It's buffet style and everybody's taking. We were the only ones that touched the gefilte fish. Okay? And there was this Sephardi guy next to me. I said to him, no, Titam, have a taste. He says, are you crazy? He says, I'm not eating that. They eat their Moroccan fish. I don't know about you. If I would eat that, I'd be in the hospital for 3 weeks. But what can I say? It's beautiful, but we're definitely picking up on some of their traditions and they're on ours. But like I've said, we can have our differences. It's great. It's beautiful. It's healthy. It's productive. And it's authentic. You should do, what your parents taught you and so on. I have no problem with that. But we need to respect and stop saying, oh, Sfardim, Ashkenazim, Hasidisha. We've gone crazy with this. And that's what I'm trying. I'm trying to break down that barrier. It's not easy, but we're doing whatever we can to make sure that, we understand. Hashem gave one Torah on Mount Sinai, one Torah to us, and all of us accepted it. And Bezrat Hashem, we need to look at each other as true brothers and sisters. UnitingTorah.com. That's what it's all about.
And before I let you go, and by the way, there was a survey a number of years ago. I'm not sure if it was Manischewitz, where it showed that more Jews, including Sephardi, would enjoy gefilte fish, and more Ashkenazi would eat hummus, tahina. So I'm sure on the hummus tahina side, we fulfilled it. On the gefilte fish side, I'm not sure if we fulfilled it.
No, not even close. Yeah, hummus. I'm a big fan of hummus, but I'm telling you, I'm not exaggerating. We were the only two that ate that gefilte fish. It was funny, but okay, that's what we got a good laugh out of.
But listen, even for one customer, they had the gefilte fish. Look at that.
You see that?
Right? Because you can say they wouldn't have served, but even just for one customer was paid to have the gefilte fish out. You see, that's the unity of the Jewish people.
We had, and I ate it. I was thinking, it says shliach shel adam kamoso, right? When you act as a shliach, I said, okay, I'm having all these Sfardim in mind with the eating of the gefilte fish with some good chrein. But yeah, that's a fresh story from 2 days ago.
Anyway, listen, good luck. I think it's an important campaign that we Jews should be supporting institutions and individuals that we may not interact with that often, or we may not respect as much as we should, especially during the 3 weeks. And it's a wonderful way of walking into the 9 days and Tisha B'Av that we have respect for one another and doing something concrete. Instead of just saying, I love you, you're doing something concrete.
We're certainly giving it our best shot. And again, Yasher Koach to you, Zev. You're pulling in great numbers on your channel, and impressions are hitting in the tens of millions, Baruch Hashem. Your message is getting out there more and more. And it's an honor to have you as my friend for, I think, 40 years already.
Yeah, wow, long time ago. Yeah,
give it away our age, but let's be honest. I think
but keep up. Listen, I love the idea of the Am Yisrael Chai Foundation. We need that unity. It's
Amen.
Something which is lacking. Like you said, the non-Jews, say we Jews are one. In fact, I think Rabbi Voren told me, he was a Hasidic Rebbe who smuggled weapons into Israel, by the way, and he also had an illegal immigration. His son has a shul in the Upper West Side, the Vorhan shul. But his father, told me he used to negotiate with pirates. One time he told me a pirate had a gun to his head. He said to the pirate, "We're negotiating. Why do you have a gun to my head?" And the pirate said, "That's how we negotiate."
That's nice. Nice.
But he said, when you talked about the Canaan that non-Jews spread, in the Megillah it says, "Yeshnu am echad mefozer mefur b'nam." There's one nation that's spread among the nations. That's how we interpret it. But he interpreted that there's Yeshnu am echad, there's one nation, that the fact that we're one is only spread by the nation of the world, but we're fighting each other. But the nations of the world seem to say the world Jewish conspiracy, the elders of Zion, whatever they say. Right. So it's important that we have that real unity. And I think that's an important thing. And kudos to you for not only the Am Yisrael Chai Foundation, but also for the Uniting Torah campaign. Give out that web address one more time.
Sure. It's uniting with an ING, unitingtorah.com. And again, the website is active. Give whatever you can. And the money is divided. You can't say, well, more money goes to Sfardim and more to Chassid. No, it's divided equally. We simply take the final amount at the end and divide by 4. And by the way, Am Yisrael Chai Foundation is covering all costs, all administrative, all marketing, everything. So every single dollar that you give, I promise, will go exactly to the 4 Torah worlds. There's nothing, not one penny being removed from your donation. 100% goes to the causes. UnitingTorah.com.
As we close out, just a crazy thought occurred to me. Rabbi Zilverstein said that people shouldn't eat cholent on weekdays, only on Shabbos. You probably saw the whole controversy.
Yes.
Maybe you should do a cook-off, a cholent cook-off, You have a religious Zionist cook-off, a Hasidic one, Litvish, and a Sephardic one, and have to get together, and maybe after Tisha B'Av, have some sort of event like that to bring everybody together. Just a crazy idea.
Not a bad idea, because as you know, nothing brings people together like more than food. So,
Exactly. so maybe that'll be a unifying factor where you have.
I like it.
We all we're all in one church all together. I'm looking to stir the pot in a good way.
Good.
Anyway,
100%.
Shmuel Sackett, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure. I'm Yisrael Chai.
Thank you for tuning in to
Talkline with Zev Brenner, America's premier Jewish broadcast, the pulse beat of the Jewish community.
For continuous Jewish programs, TalklineNetwork.com, or our 24-hour-a-day listen line at 641-741-0389. For past shows, you can find us on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, YouTube, Instagram, and all major podcast platforms, or jewishpodcast.org. Thanks for listening to the TalklineNetwork.com.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.